Ladies and gentlemen, more Roblox item drama. I am so happy. So before I even make mention of absolutely anything, let me give you guys some context as to what I'm talking about in this video. It all started with the Dominus Praefectus, this item right here, which is worth 970,000 Robux. It was accidentally sold for 1,200 Robux, even though it is obviously worth 970,000 Robux value, so you know, it is a lot. When an item this high sells for this low, we usually call that an LPP, a lowest price possible that you can actually sell the item for, because that significantly decreases the recent average price of the item. As you can see, the recent average price of the Dominus Praefectus went from 1,084,000 down to 976,000 just off of that one LPP. Now for those items, there are usually item snipers, people who have bots that are actively looking for all of these items that are, you know, very expensive and are sold for cheap. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does happen, it is very profitable for them. So these copies that are sold for super low, they're not obtained by like regular users or something like that. They are obtained by bots. Now, the person who obtained that copy of the Dominus Praefectus was Anonymous, and upon sniping the Dominus Praefectus for that low of a price, that same guy sold the Dominus Praefectus for 100 Robux on the catalog twice in a row, making the recent average price of the Dominus Praefectus go from 976,000 down to 819,000. And a lot of people are probably going to say like, oh Pedro, this doesn't affect anything because we have the Rolling Mouse value and whatnot. And you know, I would usually agree with you, but unfortunately we have some very dumb individuals in our Roblox trading community. So a lowest price possible on an item certainly does affect its performance, even if temporarily, but it always does. Now, I am going to talk about two versions of this very same story that I got. First of all, I'm going to show Siege Squad's version, this guy being the one who, you know, actually wants to like debunk him or something like that. And then I'm going to show you guys also Anonymous's version, because he personally reached out to me to say like, oh Pedro, if you have any questions for the video, which I know you're going to make, then you can ask me. So, you know, I asked him a few questions as well. So in context, the Dominus Praefectus has been LPP'd 3 times within 3 weeks. LPPing is against the terms of service and bannable, by the way. So I did some research, and the first sale was an accidental lowest price possible, but the two other were coordinated by the person who sniped the Praefectus for 1,200 Robux with his bot, which is of course this Anonymous person. Guess what? A week later, Praefectus coincidentally got LPP'd again. His Praefectus went off hold from the 7-day trade hold the same day. I mean, this was already confirmed. Anonymous is the person who is doing these targeted LPPs and whatnot, so you know, I'm just showing you this because of transparency. As you can see here, some screenshots of him like organizing the planned LPP and stuff like that. He also apparently has an LPPing service. As you can see how it works: get an item, small hoard, your alt will purchase the item you sell, repeat every week. And Siege has also showed me a few screenshots of these people who are active in value discussions in Rolling Mouse, actively incentivizing these lowest price possibles and stuff like that. Low-key, if you can make the Praefectus like 500,000 recent average price, would be funny as hell. Now, all of this evidence just goes to show that, you know, Anonymous is indeed LPPing items. But why? So Anonymous approached me saying that, you know, if I had any questions I could ask him. And just before I show you all of these chat logs, I just have to tell you that this entire video is going to be entirely non-biased. I'm just going to be giving my own personal opinion without any type of external bias. I'm going to be giving my personal opinion on the matter. But first of all, let's go over to Anonymous's messages and my questions towards him. Who are you? I am Anonymous, so you know, there's that. He is Anonymous, apparently. Why did you initially start wanting to LPP items? Any specific reason behind that? Because this is exactly what I wanted to know. The full proper reason is classified. Revealing it would attract too many copycats and could cause serious market instability, harming countless traders. The thing I do benefits both black marketers and also traders, but extensive use of this will result into negative consequences. What I can say is that revenge LPP LPPing all began because of a manipulative figure in the community known as Siege Squad. Siege is apparently the main reason as to why we are seeing these items being LPP'd, starting of course with the Dominus Praefectus. Now we're gonna go over to his version of the facts that happened. It started after I sniped a Dominus Praefectus for an extremely low price, which by the way I would like to state I do not abuse the Roblox systems, my software is very light and does not utilize use of proxies whatsoever. I joined the Dominus Praefectus Discord server afterwards, which upset several owners and moderators. Even though I did nothing wrong, just an insane snipe, I was banned for it. After discussing with a fair and reasonable moderator who I greatly admire, and I'm not Siege, so I will not throw him under the bus, I was unbanned. Later, when I saw Praefectus lowball, I commented, seems like Praefectus is struggling. Mind you, I was a Praefectus owner, so I was in the same boat as them. Then I got instantly banned again. That is when I decided to teach them a lesson by LPPing Praefectus multiple times. Things escalated when Siege Squad falsely framed Mia, who had no involvement whatsoever. I alone was responsible for those LPPs. Siege twisted screenshots and removed context to make her look guilty, aka framing. All of the images above were taken out of context. As you can see in the image, I was going to LPP Prey live on the voice chat before Mia had said lowest price possible, or before any of those conversations even took place. Siege was also exposed and threw his own friends under the bus, one who was spying for him, my dog Meows also, and one top tier plugger, CC_OLEE, banned for snitching. I would also like to state Cole Return is an active contributor in Rollimons. Mia was banned for encouraging LPPing when she clearly had spoken after the LPP, as shown in pictures before. However, Siege himself has done the same and even LPP'd before. Mia was already facing a lot of harassment, and after this incident, she faced even more. As you can see right here, Siege Squad talking about LPPing items as well. Adding on to the question above, what is your incentive to keep LPPing items? Why is it not a one-time thing? Because the work is not done. Until every manipulator, cheater, shark, and dishonest trader is exposed, I am not going to stop. For example, Siege has been around for years and I've uncovered shady behavior from him in just 2 days. He has admitted the Dark Horns of Ponage gets 500,000 or more overpays, yet just today, October the 5th, he got the Dark Horns of Ponage for a mere 100,000 overpay, and he will claim USD was added. However, this happens every time. He pumps an item, manipulates, then dumps it hardly going against the item. And as you can see right here, a screenshot of the trade that allegedly took place, which is also the reason as to why the Dominus Praefectus is no longer going to be targeted. Siege simply does not own the item anymore. I plan to counter every move he makes. Every item he touches, I'll target until the community sees him for what he truly is, a manipulator, liar, and a framer. And don't worry, Siege, unless you get the Domino crown, there are no items I cannot get. You know, Siege, I'm not gonna lie, bro, if I were you, I'd be a little scared because of these messages. 3. What are your future plans? Do you have any future LPPs in mind? I would avoid any item that Siege gets near, because panic trading will follow wherever he goes. No one will want an item sitting at 100,000 recent average price or less. I don't share my exact future LPP targets, doing so would only attract interferences, but as of October the 5th, 11 PM EST, BRSS and likely Rudolph are confirmed targets. At 12 AM October 6th, I will LPP BRSS in response to my dog Meow snitching, one of the many people Siege has thrown under the bus to shift attention from himself. He's also betrayed Rollimons contributors like Cole, who was banned from a plugging server and notably being one of the best pluggers in the server, and puts his contributor role at stake due to Siege's actions. This shows Siege's pattern, using and discarding others for his own gain. Any message to the people watching this video? You might be wondering what I gain from this. Regular LPPing gains me a lot, I cannot specify how much. However, revenge LPPing, not much. My losses are minimal, maybe $25 to $100 at most. With over 50 million value, no item that Siege touches will sit safe. I frequently snipe items, add Robux through Yuri, my Robux supplier, and reinvest them into the market. The current trading system is broken. There should never be a 50k item that requires 100k in overpays. The market needs balance and the community needs to open its eyes to market manipulators, cheaters, frauds, and most of all, people who will go to any extent just to make a bit of profit. Mia being framed for not contributing to LPP related issues Siege throwing not one, but two people under the bus, jeopardizing their status. We do not want people like Siege. Okay, so I'm sorry, that was a lot, but I felt like I had to show Anonymous's entire side. Because I'm already gonna say this, from my own perspective, Anonymous's side seems a little bit more well constructed. Now once again, just to make everything super clear, I'm not going to be accusing anyone of absolutely anything in this video. I do not know if Siege is a manipulator or whatever. I know that, like, I don't know, John or 404 Japan is a manipulator, but I don't know about Siege. People always claim that he is a manipulator, but you know, I don't think there has been any like solid evidence about that yet. If so, then please DM me on Discord with the evidence, because I would gladly make a video on the matter. Like, I'm going to be completely honest here, and this revenge LPPing thing, because you know, Praefectus owners got mad at you and stuff like that, I feel like both sides were a little bit childish when it comes to this entire thing. From one side, they banned you because you know, you owned Praefectus and you just mentioned how it was struggling. But on the other side, you got so extraordinarily mad at those people that you decided to screw every single Praefectus owner, making people who just, you know, simply do not deserve that kind of stuff also suffer because of that kind of stuff. And I'll be completely honest here about Mia and her mentioning the LPPs and stuff like that. I know that she was not solely the reason that you did it, but she, in a way or another, she incentivized LPPing very hardly, according to these screenshots that I saw. I don't think she is guilty or the reason that you LPP'd the items, but you know, she sure as hell, you know, like actually incentivized the doing of these LPPs. So I'm not really sure as to, you know, unbanning her from Discord, at least not a permanent ban, but you know, like at least a very temporary ban, like 1 week, 2 weeks or something like that, because I feel like not punishing that kind of stuff could also bring some harm to Rollimons. Now about Cole and Plugging, I really do not know much about that situation, so I will refrain from talking about it, but apparently Siege threw my dog Meows and Cole under the bus for his own gain, which I don't know if it's true or not. That is what Anonymous is saying. As Anonymous said, his next targets are the Dark Horns of Ponage, the Blue Rockstar Smile, and also the Rudolph face. So you know, be very cautious when dealing with those items, because they might as well be losing a little bit of value in the coming days. As Anonymous said, allegedly he has over 50 million Robux at his disposal, and apparently he is doing this as an act of justice or something like that, you know. I cannot say that I personally understand the motives, maybe I'm not aware of the full picture. I know a lot of people claim that Siege is a manipulator and stuff like that, but I have yet to see some proof of that. I'm not saying he is, nor that he isn't. I'm just saying that I've personally not seen proof of that happening. And I'm not gonna lie, I would absolutely love to know what you guys think about this entire situation down here in the comments, because I know this is going to be a very polarized topic, so I want to know what you guys personally think about all of this. And yeah, that was pretty much the video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thank you so much to every single member of the YouTube channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys have been helping me in such an amazing manner. You guys have no idea. Please like the video, subscribe, join my Discord server, because I will be hosting a few giveaways. Follow me on Twitter, you know, do all of that very juicy stuff. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.